Hey Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to a recap of Austria-Hungary's round 7, Russia's round 7, and Germany's round 7 in this game of 1914. Played against a human opponent. For obvious reasons, I kind of rolled up Russia's turn. I didn't make a separate video for them because their economy's been knocked out. Okay, so here we are. So the Austrians on the east front push in and attack Karelia. They sent their plane back to the west front, or Italian front. They also pushed up 2 of those 3 infantry. Oops. Okay. Moved infantry into Romania. Galicia. Okay, nothing surprising here. Stacks up in Tyrolia, right? A little bit. Yeah, Trieste is fortified. Okay, so how did the combats shake out? Oh, and the Austrians move into Albania. So here's the Albania fight. With 4-2 attackers, he picked up the 1 kill. What is that? That is gotta be in the 80s, I think. Okay, and the Italian missed. Okay. Karelia. I think this was neg 1. The Austrians attack, and I think it's like a neg 1 or neg 1.5, and the Russians rolled neg 2. See, look at this was an interesting roll because they overshot by 2 or 3 down here, and then they got 1 hit off the 12s. Imagine if that had been inverted. Like that's a throw your computer through the wall. If all these 6s were 1s and the 5s were 2s, like, but it shook out. It shook out the difference between pieces was such that. Oh, I should say I selected my casualties as the Entente, as take the Brits, both of them, because I still don't know what I'm going to roll back with. In hindsight, I kind of wish I hadn't preserved the Brits. But anyway, it's a small moot point. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, I lopped off 2 of the fighters. I only need 1 to promote the artillery, right? And he pulled his Austrian fighter back. So before seeing my roll back, before knowing that I was going to roll neg 2, yeah, that was the decision I made. So, and when you're playing by email, Ragnell's pretty good about this, and I try to be pretty good about it too. I always like to think that if you select your casualties for your opponent, you're giving them it's a soft landing. You want them to make a decision before they see the rollback, especially in set piece battles. So, places, units, and this is the windfall from Russia. So a nice big fat army plopping down right there. That's going to be fun. But if I did my math right, should have it accounted for. But we'll see. Okay. On the Russians' turn, I decided to surrender the territory and bring up the battleship. So this meant that the territory goes to, since I abandoned it, it's now the Austrians. Now there's the argument for leaving an infantry there normally is that it takes an extra turn for your enemy to clear it, right? But when you have dual powers like this, the Germans essentially go before the Austrians when it comes to the Russian front. So they would be able to clear out that Russian, and then the Austrians would be able to hit me again. So I pulled back, and this is how we ended up. Okay, And I brought the Russian battleship up here as sort of a low probability opportunity that may not pan out, but again, there's no other. He's serving less of a purpose standing off the coast of England than he will up here, and I may be able to make that make sense in a moment. It's just that I don't know. I have this rule that I try to follow in Axis and Allies. It's just try to find a job where find something for your pieces to do. Not necessarily where they will do something, but where they could do something. You're not, you don't have to put yourself in a position to commit to anything, but I see how this guy could do something up here if certain things line up right, and it's just not going to happen down here. So I put him up there prior to the mind flip, and that's that. Okay, so we get to Germany's turn. So to be continued maybe on that Russian battleship. I don't know if I'll go over that, if it's interesting. Anyway, you'll see in a moment. It has to do with this French transport. Okay, next is the, right, okay. Yeah, we want to see what Berlin did. Right, so actually that's kind of interesting. Germans into Romania. This is obviously going down to security in either the Balkans or Constantinople. That's a prime move. Very, very good. Okay, looks like he stacks up in Ukraine some assets. And he moves the army from Livonia to Karelia. 4-1 against 2 American. So that's less than 1 and 6, right? I'll crunch those numbers just to. Munich 5. Okay, okay. And Berlin full commitment. Yeah, since Russia's down and it's being accounted for. So the Germans attack. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So yeah, it's a solid -1 and a positive and a solid +1. Yeah, so the Americans caught their 25% chance of double hit. And yeah, that ended up being, that's annoying. But yeah, it's not crazy, right? 67% chance on the attack. So essentially exactly if you rolled for a bomber by itself to attack something and you're expecting a hit, this is 67, the same percentage. So it's like missing with a bomber, missing on a 4 or less. In regular Axis and Allies, of course. So, all right, it happens. Yep, drops it in and collects 37. Okay, here we go. German turn summary. Live game. 8 infantry. No, 11 infantry, that's right. And the French. The French. There's a couple of options out on this front, but I'll just take the very unexciting, safer option and bounce back to Belgium. On the Italian front, I think we'll stand down for this turn. Yeah, let's send all 9 up north. Let's keep 1 as a blocker, to hold up the fighter. And yeah, might as well, since we're already here, move up. Move you there. Move the rest here. I think the Americans are going to take over responsibilities on that front. Okay, next. Okay, yes, this French transport, very important job. A taxi service for the Brits. Yes, you, very important job. Okay, this is where I like to keep my UK strong. I like to keep my hammer strong, and UK is my hammer. And this is a very strong UK. It's about as strong as it could be in Africa when I see all the yellowish green territories taken out here. We gave France one of them. Yeah, that's probably okay. You know, I gotta think about that one. Yeah, we'll give it to France, or at least make it French for one turn, pending my opponent's involvement. So, cycle through one last. Oh, that's it. I forgot that big move. Okay, this is a hold your breath move. So I don't care so much about this French transport, which is not. I do, but I don't really have a. I don't really want to be hucking a ton of Brits in there without promoting or bringing in another British transport. This French, putting Brits on a French transport is kind of sluggish for what we are doing over here. So he is somewhat expendable, and these units are loaded. And there's a reason. There's another reason I want this guy over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the 1 and 6. So we'll see live if he gets blown up. No. And they will unload into Finland. I'm not sure. Oh, it's not Britain's turn. All right. So France breaches the now enemy minefield successfully, and there they are. Next, just France is all over the place in this game, so gotta keep tabs on everybody. So he's giving me 25. Yes. Ah, only because it irks me. 29. Right now I'm backstacking the numbers here. 24, 34, 25, 31, 32, 33. 8 artillery. I got 9. He's got 2 more times. Yeah, I think we'll stand on that. The one thing that is for me is sort of a grind is just doing the bean counting math as the Entente. What bodies descend and where. Okay, French non-combat. Done, done, done. Okay. France 36. Yeah. Okay, now the UK. Let's spam a bunch of infantry and bring in an arty. Yeah. And then click done. Yeah. Okay, now Britain's is massively complex turn. But yeah, we're not strong enough to attack that. I can see that by looking at it. 32 pieces to not even 30 pieces, so yeah. Nope, we'll just stack them up. Bring them over, put the core units on the transport and bring them over. Air units move 2, 7. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, and yeah, you two, we gotta get serious about this, and you can bring these pieces over. Yeah. Yep. Okay. These pieces can keep walking. These pieces will stay on their French taxi. Whatever, just stack up the BEF. These French pieces depart their French transport, reinforce Finland, and these guys will flip into Belgium. Expand the BEF a little bit. Logistics is to me is how it feels when I'm playing the Entente. Just dialing in, not so much fighting, just putting people where they need to be to... Yeah, okay. Alright, British NCM. Okay, this is... I gotta be careful here. 2 to you. Another wave of infantry here. Yes, and a nice number divisible by 3 for next turn. Alright. So that's it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching this. All the best, and bye-bye.